Time to stick one to the prog snobs. Ah, get bent. But if you're a Dream Theater fan, you no doubt have one association that you claim some days to be your friend that would rather listen to Corpse Grinder destroy a wildebeest with his teeth or have Gene Simmons express his opinions to you than actually listen to Dream Theater, and you're no doubt scratching your head as to why. Why could someone potentially hate this lovely, lovely group that has transformed the world of progressive metal? And really, it's a fairly decent question. Dream Theater are considered to be one of the elite of the progressive metal subgenre of heavy metal, perhaps one of the best of all time, and they've amassed a global fan base. How could anybody see and find this band in disfavor? Well, that's kind of the name of the game here on 5 Reasons, so let's do it. Let's find out today 5 reasons why people hate Dream Theater. And that starts us off with number 5. Number 5, they're baby's first prog metal band. Now, if you're new to the series, there are some really weird reasons out there why large groups of people don't like bands. But as far as reasons are concerned, this is probably one of the oddest. This is almost the gateway drug scenario that you hear sometimes with heavy metal as well, that many folks will only tread toward radio metal groups such as Five Finger Death Punch or Disturbed and not go headlong into the genre, where they kind of go curiously to the border and refuse to just enter into the territory. This is something that prog has not been excluded from, as Dream Theater has been seen by a larger community than it should be as baby's first prog metal band, the first group that most people will listen to whenever trying to get into progressive music. They would rather have these people examine some classic bands such as Rush or Yes or perhaps even Marillion. Either that or Between the Buried and Me, because they do gent and growl like men. That's an actual argument, by the way. Either way, this is a really silly reason to really dislike a band, just because they are the one that people tend to gravitate to first. That's the reason why you have more popular bands than others. That way, they bring people into the fold and give them a taste of what's to come. Number 4, they were better with Mike Portnoy. Now, we all know the story of whenever Mike Portnoy was dismissed or left Dream Theater. Really, it's up in the air, and there are conspiracy theories everywhere about this, because life is fair. But anyway, Mike Portnoy, to sort of simplify everything, was going to leave Dream Theater. Then he wanted to come back to Dream Theater, but he was told he couldn't come back to Dream Theater. So he left and went to Avenged Sevenfold, and they were like, yay, because they had just lost their drummer to death. No, not the band. He helped them out with the recording of Nightmare and then left, where they were like, fuck, we gotta do this again and find another drummer, which they did eventually for Hail to the King. Meanwhile, Dream Theater held a drummer's audition that was pretty amazing to watch, and eventually chose Mike Mangini. These folks complain because they feel that the 3 albums that followed with Mike Mangini behind the skins have not been as good as what Mike Portnoy and the band were able to deliver prior to that. And those 3 albums are Dramatic Turn of Events, the self-titled album, and most recently, The Astonishing. This is a pretty silly reason that really makes it sound like they're not giving Mangini his fair opportunity. Either that or just believe that he is inferior to Mike Portnoy, but the decision has been made, and now Mike Portnoy is in like 27 bands, so if you like him that much, you should probably just listen to those. Number 3, their songs are simply too long. There's yet another moment where we expose that as human beings, we essentially have the attention span of wood chippers. This is an argument that comes and has been coming forward about Dream Theater for quite some time. Dream Theater is a band that certainly does like to get a little bit improvisational with some of their music and likes to have their runtimes really display it. With some tracks that are more than 20 minutes in length, others that span the entire album or the entire second disc of an album, one could see why perhaps somebody would be a little bit dissuaded by this. However, there are those that complain about tracks that are 11 to 12 minutes long because lyricism stops at 5 to 6 minutes, and then there's 4 to 5 minutes worth of soloing. As if completely and totally dismissing the actual musicianship that is embroiled within the soloing or the instrumental passage itself, they feel that this has absolutely no flow to the song, kind of breaks the real solid nature of their songs, and is completely unnecessary, that they could easily cut the 5 to 6 minutes to shorten the runtime. These are folks usually that just don't really like this kind of expression, and it's really one of those things that's not as uncommon as you might think. For everybody that really likes Dream Theater's free-flowing nature of going from telling a story to with lyrics to going and telling a story with music, there's one out there that feels that the musical side should just be silenced or at least cut down a little bit. Pretty silly, but these are silly reasons. Number 2, they're pretentious. To go right alongside of reason number 3, the overall pretentiousness, supposedly, of the band themselves is really what's going on here. That's right, this band is seen as pretentious, not only because of who they are, but because of who they are and what they are now. They're progressive music. This could easily be seen as the reason of all progressive music sucks or Dream Theater sucks, as opposed to it just being, I don't like this band. These are the folks that are out there that basically subscribe to that very simple theory that they just don't like a band, but they want to have a better reason than that. Somewhere along the lines, the idea of this group being pretentious because of the way in which their songs are constructed, the way in which they are all very seriously talented and graduated from high-level music academies and all of this other jibber-jabber, basically playing 17 different bands at once, are parts of 17 other projects, have done cover albums of full albums of albums such as Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden, that these guys who just love music and enjoy it more than anything else and have made it their life are pretentious because they love music and have made it their life. Right. Did you get all that? Because I really didn't. But this is actually the basis of the reason, essentially, that they just seem like a bunch of pretentious dicks that have this high-level, highbrow, spyglass and top hat wearing image on the remainder of the traditional music folk that aren't as intelligent and well-versed in the musical theory world that they are. Completely false, not really in any way based or backed up, and there's really no place that showcases them doing this. I don't know. And that brings us to number 1, the elitist fan base. Yes, behind every great band, there's a great fan base, and behind every great fan base, there are a bunch of people that are willing to duel to the death with internet warriors to make sure that their band is giving their just due and their just reward. Fight the goddamn power! Dream Theater's the greatest band of all time. Anybody who believes differently is a fucking moron! Moron! M-O-R-O-N, moron! Tips Fedora. That's right, this is the traditional idea of the fan base being the biggest annoyance, the true annoyance, and what actually dissuades some folks to getting into Dream Theater. And if you look anywhere amongst the internet, be it Tumblr, be it Yahoo Answers, be it on a Dream Theater forum, be it on a prog group on Facebook, you will see this. Dream Theater is simply the group that's similar to Metallica that is the biggest name currently on the roster. It's almost as though people expect every single person, whenever he was active, to love Barry Bonds, or Stephon Curry, or LeBron James, or insert popular figure from your country, or your favorite thing. It's like expecting everyone to love John Cena, and we of course have seen that just doesn't happen. Dream Theater has that polarizing ideal to them, where tons of people adore them, which means that other people will hate them for adoring this band, and in the process hate the band. But the fan base also is seen as one other thing, and that's elitist scum. They're seen as folks that showcase that same highbrow image that they envision that Dream Theater themselves possess, and have just argument after argument as to why Dream Theater is great and their opinion is invalid. It is insane to see what some of these arguments and some of these debates really boil down to something very, very simple as an opinion. But that's kind of the name of the game. Here in the online age, this is very, very popular, something that happens quite a lot, and among the Dream Theater fan base, it happens within the band base itself. It's something that sometimes corrodes from the inside out. You add in a couple more prog snobs, and it becomes even worse. You add in the conventional public, it becomes even worse. You add in Avenged Sevenfold fans that thought that Mike Portnoy was just not as good as the Rev, and you get a bona fide explosion. But there you have it. There are 5 reasons why people hate Dream Theater. Do you agree with this list? Are there others that you would have added? Add your reasons why Dream Theater is loathed and despised in the comments box below. I am CoverKillerNation, and I will talk to you in a bit. But before I leave, over on our Patreon page, we're aiming to get $250 to do a 24 hours of CoverKillerNation marathon, which would be amazing. It's a lot of fun. If you love the content here, imagine getting it for 24 hours. The last couple times we've done this, it's led to 20 plus videos in one day and tons of fun during streams. Go over there and check it out. And of course, as always, if you decide to become a patron, I sincerely thank you. But anyways, I will talk to you guys next time.